Welcome back guys, today we will talk about one of dictators in history of Pakistan, Ayub Khan. So let's start. In the early years of Pakistan's history, the country was embroiled in political instability. New, fragile institutions struggled to find their footing. In the midst of this chaos, one man would emerge from the ranks of the military, not just as a leader, but as the architect of Pakistan's first military dictatorship. After Pakistan's creation in 1947, the country faced multiple challenges: the aftermath of partition, political instability, and tensions with neighboring India. The civilian governments that followed struggled to maintain order and stability, and the military's influence grew. Amid growing unrest, Ayub Khan, who had been serving as Pakistan's commander-in-chief, would eventually step in to claim power. On October 7, 1958, President Iskandar Mirza, facing mounting political chaos, declared martial law. But within hours, General Ayub Khan, his top military officer, seized control of the country in a coup. Mirza was removed, and Ayub Khan assumed the presidency, promising stability and a solution to Pakistan's political crises. Ayub Khan's rise to power was presented as a necessary intervention. He justified the coup by arguing that Pakistan's civilian leadership was corrupt and ineffective, and that only a strong, disciplined military could restore the country's order. For many Pakistanis, Ayub Khan's promise of a new dawn for the country seemed hopeful. But that hope would soon give way to authoritarian rule. As president, Ayub Khan set about consolidating his power. He suspended the constitution, dissolved the national and provincial assemblies, and ruled by decree. He introduced a new constitution in 1962, which centralized power in the presidency and allowed Ayub Khan to maintain absolute control. His basic democracy system created a network of local councils designed to legitimize his rule, but critics saw them as a way to ensure his dominance. Ayub Khan's constitutional changes were designed to reduce the power of political parties and centralize authority in the presidency. While he promoted himself as a reformer, his political system was undemocratic at its core. He controlled the military, the media, and the economy, all key instruments of power. On the surface, Ayub Khan's regime delivered economic progress. The country experienced significant industrialization, agricultural reforms, and infrastructural development. Pakistan's GDP grew rapidly, and Ayub Khan became a symbol of economic modernization in South Asia. However, this economic growth came at a cost. Ayub Khan's policies disproportionately benefited the wealthy, leaving large segments of the population disenfranchised. Rural areas saw little benefit from the so-called Green Revolution, and growing inequality sparked widespread discontent. His reliance on foreign aid and military alliances also created a dependency that would later have consequences. By the late 1960s, Ayub Khan's popularity had waned. The promises of economic prosperity had not been realized by many Pakistanis. Student protests, labor strikes, and opposition from political leaders created an environment of unrest. As protests grew, Ayub Khan's grip on power began to loosen. In 1969, amid mounting pressure from all sides, Ayub Khan was forced to resign. The protests, especially in the cities, had become too large to ignore, and even the military could no longer guarantee his control. In a final attempt to save his rule, Ayub Khan handed over power to his trusted ally, General Yahya Khan. While Ayub Khan's regime was marked by significant economic and social reforms, his inability to address political freedoms, his authoritarian tendencies, and the growing inequality made his rule unsustainable. The country was yearning for more democracy, and Ayub's decision to step down paved the way for another military regime under Yahya Khan. After his resignation, Ayub Khan retired to his private life, but his legacy remained. For some, he was the man who modernized Pakistan. For others, he was a military dictator who crushed political freedoms and sowed the seeds of political instability. His tenure marked the first instance of military rule in Pakistan, and it would not be the last. Ayub Khan's time in power was a turning point in Pakistan's history. His era of military dictatorship set a precedent for future interventions by the armed forces in civilian politics. The lessons from Ayub Khan's rule, both the successes and the failures, continue to influence Pakistan's political culture to this day. General Ayub Khan's story is one of power, ambition, and consequences. In the end, his legacy reminds us that the balance between military authority and civilian democracy is a delicate one, and the struggle for political stability is ongoing. For more videos like this, please subscribe my channel and like the video, and thanks for watching the video. Bye for now.